going out there, YouTubers and gamers alike? Welcome back for more of Marvel Spider-Man, for more of the Venom info and side quest. Again! Never get tired of it! Never get tired. So this time it's about the storylines. Everybody knows the sinister symbiote Venom, but there doesn't seem to be enough love surrounding Carnage. Here are the best and worst storylines that you would love to hear with your own very eyes and ears, but mostly your ears, which could be worth it. So, this past year, Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman brought new and horrific life to one of the most underrated Spider-Man villains out there. Everybody knows and loves the sinister symbiote Venom, but there doesn't seem to be enough love surrounding Carnage. Over the years, there's been plenty of brilliant Carnage storylines to go alongside Cates and Stegman's absolute carnage. So, along with the good, there is plenty of bad as well. From appearances in Spider-Man stories, to standalone miniseries, to full-blown epics. Let's take a look at 5 of the best Carnage storylines, as well as 5 of the worst. And it will work with this music as well, thank you very much. Axis, the top 5 is, I'm going to give you this one. Axis Carnage. It ranks on the top 5 of the worst. Let's preface this by stating that the Axis storyline is far from bad. The Carnage tie-in, however, isn't really what a traditional Carnage fan would look for. This story follows Carnage learning to use his abilities for good after being inverted into a hero. So, yeah, there was like this. Remember that, what I told you about earlier about Axis Carnage? So, yeah, it's like I turned his personality upside down by saying the words topsy-turvy. The tie-in completely flips the character on his head, which for the purpose of the overall storyline works, as it shows one of the most gruesome and savage villains trying to be a hero because everything is Arkham. Yes, Carnage is Arkham. However, if you're a fan of the more traditional version and tendencies of Carnage, this story isn't for you, okay? It also doesn't add too much of the overall development, if you want to know, of the character, but rather just serves the specific storyline. I mean, it's not a bad storyline, to be honest, of Axis Carnage, or how he got inverted. I mean, I would believe there is like a alternate universe that shows Axis Carnage as the good guy, to be honest. And like, okay, if for those who watch Batman Brave and the Bold, there is an alternate version of Batman, and his name is Owlman, and the Joker is the Cape Crusader hero in a fishbowl that's red. So there you have it. Yeah, I just picture that in your mind. Owlman versus the Clown Prince of Heroes, the Clown Prince Vigilante Hero as the Joker. So there you have it. That's him, and yes, he was dropped into a vast of chemicals. Thank you very much. Number 5 of the top best 5, Venom and Carnage. Yes, I still have Venom. Will give the credit, and also Carnage. Just because Carnage is a byproduct of Spider-Man doesn't mean he can't develop his own storylines. Well, here we find one that pins Carnage against a long-time nemesis that he shares with Peter Parker, Venom. This 4-part miniseries from Peter Milligan and Clayton Crane not only shows us a long-awaited villain battle, but also brings Carnage's son to the surface. That's right! Carnage actually has his own offspring, just as he is the offspring of Venom. Ah, family matters. Isn't that wonderful in the Arkhamverse of Carnage with Venom and Spider-Man? See how the Arkhamverse works in the Marvel Universe? Because it does. Everything is Arkham. The introduction of Toxin adds another, how do I say this? I got it. Adds another element to the story. Makes this a three-way fight between three enraged symbiotes. It's a story that any Spider-Man, Venom, or Carnage fan will love, and one that jumps into action right from the start. And that is why it's on the top 5 of the best and not the worst. So there you have it. Can you believe how things could have been imagined when that would happen by not being the worst? It kind of actually is the best. Well, it's in the top 5. Number 4 of the worst. Deadpool versus Carnage. Thank you very much. You might find this slightly surprising, but the clash of Carnage and Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, the guy who don't die, Deadpool. I'm your biggest fan. What's up? Woohoo! Isn't as great as it sounds. In another 4-part series, this time from Cullen Bunn, Salva Espin, and Veronica Gandini, we are definitely provided plenty of laughs and action as the two insane characters go toe-to-toe or head-to-head. Regardless of that, though, this really isn't the great of a Carnage piece. No, not One Piece, but that would be lovely. Obviously, he shares the title with one of Marvel's most popular characters, but this feels much more like a Deadpool story with Carnage simply serving as the villain. All we're given is the typical Carnage escaping from prison and going on a killing spree narrative, which doesn't really do anything for him but make him look like a deranged murderer. Although that assessment isn't far off from what Carnage actually is, Deadpool versus Carnage doesn't really feel like it ever truly focuses or adds anything to Cletus Cassidy's character, to be honest. So there you have it. Number 4. Number 4. If you like to number. Ta-da! Best Carnage USA. Ever wondered what would happen if the Avengers were the hosts for the symbiote? Well, wonder no more. In the very appropriately titled Carnage USA from Zeb Wells and Clayton Crane, we see what happens when Carnage takes control of every person in a small Colorado town. No, not Aspen! I'm kidding, it's not Aspen, okay? I'm messing with you. I'm just messing with you. Thank you very much. Answering the call, the Avengers, this time composed of Captain America, Spider-Man, Hawkeye, Wolverine, and The Thing from Fantastic Four, would you mind you? Which is pretty awesome. Rush into Carnage's trap and are quickly consumed by the symbiote. This mini-series is great on a number of levels. To start, Wells does an incredible incredible job of portraying just how powerful Carnage can be. It also reignites the rivalry between Spider-Man and Carnage. And later on, as we find out Venom, if you want to know, yep, Venom. Lastly, each of the 5 issues provides some incredible covers that are, without a doubt, some of the best in Carnage's history. Now, if you put that into Japanese anime universe, like any Japanese anime character you can think of, superheroes, for example, yes, superheroes, and yes, SAO can work for that, and any Japanese anime TV show with involving superheroes that involve TV-14, yes, Naruto Uzumaki can work as a superhero because he is a ninja and a superhero, because he like to say, believe it all the time, and he believes it. Thank you very much. Number 3 of the worst. Carnage. It's a Wonderful Life, but it's not Christmas. So yeah, not Christmas. You know what? It's so wonderful, it's not a wonderful life that nobody gets the gist of it. Way back in 1996, David Quinn told us a brand new and wildly fascinating story about the red symbiote Carnage. Carnage, It's a Wonderful Life showed us Cletus Cassidy locked up in Ravencroft Institute, also known as Arkham Asylum. See how everything is Arkham? Everything is Arkham, for crying out loud, because it is 100%, no lie, that's the truth. Eventually, as part of the plan that runs tests on Carnage, 2 doctors enter his cell where he waits for them. The rest of the story follows how Carnage controls the 2 doctors in his own mind. Yeah, tormenting them before they find a way into his memory. The ideas in the story are fresh for Carnage's character, but unfortunately, the storyline only lasted 1 issue. Sad, isn't it? While this can just be written off as a one-shot, to be honest, there was plenty of potential to explore this aspect of Carnage, as well as his past to be stretched over several issues. While the storyline delivers in its singular issue, it's equally as damaged by the brevity of its existence. Unfortunately as well, this would turn out to be the only time Quinn wrote a Carnage story as well. See, I am your get to go guy, so yeah, you have it. So once again, don't forget to like and comment and favorite, because I am your get to go guy for any Spider-Man lore and or Venom lore and info, but I may not be a Carnage type of info lore type of guy, but I do like to look into things that are very interesting if you want to know. So there you have it, and I will give you some bit of the lowdown. Moving on. Oh, so we got as a number 3, best Carnage 2010. Should I say the year 2010? Anytime a Carnage storyline is attached to Zeb Wells or Clayton Crane, it's bound to be a success. That's right. Those guys who wrote the storybook of Carnage in the comics, Zeb Wells and Clayton Crane, or one of them or both. That pattern certainly follows suit with his 5-issue Carnage miniseries, where we see Carnage pinned up against Iron Man and Spider-Man. Not only we are given a creative new take on Carnage, with appearances from both Cletus Cassidy and Dr. Tanis Neves. or Nieves, or if you want to call it. But we're given a look at the reach of the symbiote in the form of fellow symbiotes Scorn and Shriek. Not Shrek, Shriek. No, not Shrek the ogre. It says, I'm an ogre! Get off of my property, you lazy landlubbers! And I'm from Scotland. I'm an ogre! You know, it's Shriek, not Shrek, okay? So please, just get the names right, because that would make me happy. Plus, anyone can get on board with a Peter Parker, Tony Stark team-up. On top of all that, Crane provides us with yet another set of incredible covers inspired by the symbiote monster. Interesting now, doesn't it? Number 2 of the worst. Amazing Spider-Man comic book number 430. That's right. One of the most bizarre Carnage storylines brings Cletus Cassidy into contact with not just Spider-Man, but a very popular Fantastic Four character. In an attempt to help Peter Parker to stop Carnage, the Silver Surfer comes to Earth and bonds with the symbiote. And remember the name Cosmic Carnage? Yeah, that guy of Amazing Spider-Man comic book number 430. That comic book character of Amazing Spider-Man character of a Fantastic Four character in Amazing Spider-Man comic book number 430. With the idea of a Cosmic Carnage is interesting, it is not really a classic version of Carnage. Also, the character doesn't really have many standalone qualities. Not quantities, qualities. And instead is used at the benefit of other villains. The character definitely has plenty of potential, but not really in the way of a solid, complex Carnage story, to be honest, per se. So, yeah, that is likely how I put this to explain that in your minds. Number 2 of the top 5 best. And get this, from the Super NES game, for those who played on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, Maximum Carnage. That's right. And it's one of the top 5 of the best Carnage storylines. So, until this past year, the premier Carnage storyline was the 14-part 1993 epic Maximum Carnage, which is the original name of the game on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, if you want to know. This story is one of the first Carnage-focused works we've ever introduced to, and along with it, we learned so much about the character outside of his relationship with Spider-Man and Venom. Very interesting. Sorry, folks. Not only this is one of the best stories that is beautifully connects and expands Carnage to the rest of the Marvel Universe, but it also leaves a lasting legacy for the character. Very much indeed, if you want to know very much. With Maximum Carnage came a newfound love and interest for Carnage and a desire to create more stories focused on him. This terrific storyline is easily the most important piece of work to feature Carnage and a definite highlight in Marvel Comics histories. I mean, it is beautifully well done. Whoever wrote the comic book is absolutely a genius to make something out of this. And if Carnage were to put into the DC comic universe as a crossover with Maximum Carnage, or get this, if you want to see Maximum Carnage in the Japanese anime universe, like whether it can be something to do with that, I would say make it a well-done storyline of Maximum Carnage, and that would bring me to tears. Okay, not literally to tears. I would say it would make me somehow very interesting, very much indeed. Number 1 of the worst of the top 5, Carnage Mind Bomb. That's right. Carnage Mind Bomb is another one-shot Carnage story produced in the late 1990s. Extremely similar to Carnage. It's like, you know, from that comic, the storyline Carnage, It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah, that one. The 2 one-shots, although written by different authors, both feature most of the same characters and surrounds a story with Cletus Cassidy being held in the Ravencroft Institute. And just like It's a Wonderful Life, the fact this story only lasts 1 issue robs it all of the potential it had. Unfortunately for these one-shots, while the stories are solid, they could and should really be more spread out than they are. So, yeah, like, I don't know where this is going. So, and number 1 of the top 5 of the best, Absolute Carnage. That's right, Absolute Carnage. Finally, we've come to what is arguably the best piece of Carnage work we've ever seen. From the brilliant combination of Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman comes Absolute Carnage. The 5-part epic covers the return of the serial killer Cletus Cassidy as he looks to hunt anyone that's ever bonded with the symbiote. Yeah, I'm not kidding. This is really one of the best storylines. In his way, stand 2 of his longest standing enemies, Venom and Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Venom and Spider-Man. Absolute Carnage is complete with a series of tie-ins that brings some of your favorite Marvel heroes face to face with the mad symbiote. This story brings new and refreshing life to Carnage and showcases the magnificent things Cates and Stegman can do with the symbiote monsters. Very, very much indeed. And that is why your top 5 of the worst and the top 5 of the best. So, the number 1 of the top 5 of the Venom of side quests and Venom info is Absolute Carnage, while Maximum Carnage, with the name of that is a comic book of 1993, which is originally on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, is also widely popular as well to that with others. With crossover superhero characters like Captain America and others. Cloak and Dagger. Along with another character, Venom. The guy who wants to take down Carnage as much as Black Cat will do. Which I can't believe she kind of pulled my leg and I crossed her path again with leaving me with a going away present, which is the dark suit. And I believe we are going to stop here for the time being, and then we resume back with the main storyline. Don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and tell me, what do you guys think of the comic book issues or the interesting info of Carnage? Even though I'm not a Carnage type of guy, but I give you the lowdown as your get-to-go guy for Spider lore, and Carnage is part of the Spider-Man lore, like the Arkhamverse of Batman comic books, to be honest. And as your friendly neighborhood Spider Cop, it is my duty to do this job to give you any information you guys want to know and how it was being made by the authors. And not to mention those who are fanfics of those from Japanese anime in the Japanese anime universe can work well with the comic books of Marvel and DC. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, don't forget to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe, and tell me what do you guys think of the info I tell you, or what do you think of Marvel Spider-Man? Do you like it or hate it? Mash that like button or share this video if you guys love this action pack or the info that I told you as your get-to-go guide of spider lore. This is Leo Wolverine saying, and speaking as always as your friendly neighborhood spider cop who takes chances making mistakes and getting messy like peanut butter and chocolate or breakfast for dinner. Because when the going gets tough, the job gets it done for a breath of fresh air. And this game is rated T for teen. This is not KID friendly. This is Alliance teen, and this is the ultimate Arkham universe. Because everything is Arkham. Godspeed, play safe, and shalom. Remember to fight with honor, love, truth, and justice. And see you guys next time for more of Marvel Spider-Man. Now, if you excuse me, duty calls as your friendly neighborhood spider cop is going to take down crime. Here I go! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!